You've been on the road with Gigant Tour for a while now. The tour's on its last legs. How did the road treat you so far?
Gigantour's been very good, actually. I've been friends with Dave Mustaine for almost 30 years. You know, we got things going for way back when he let Flotsam play our first gig out of Arizona in California. We opened for Megadeth in 1985. So we have been friends for a long time and had a good friendship for a long time. We never had a bad time, so that's pretty cool. I've a full circle kind of guy coming back to play with them again, so that's cool. And also, you know, Zach I've known for a long time. We have a good brotherhood. Vinnie Paul, good brotherhood there. So we cheer each other on each day. And so far, Gigantour's been really good. North American stuff for us has been very, very positive so far.
Do you have any crazy stories from the Gigantour this year, or it's been pretty mellow?
Pretty mellow as far as those kind of stories go. There's a couple things I can't share with you, of course, but there's, for the most part, everybody's pretty serious about bringing the digital to people right now. So, and it's not quite like it used to be, dude. It's just not really like it used to be as far as the debauchery and all that stuff. Too bad. It's a shame.
You have been in festivals in Europe, and what do you think of the festival here at Heavy Montreal?
The Heavy Montreal Festival and European festivals are very similar, and as the years go by, they get to be a little more powerful, a little more like-minded. Montreal is probably the most international city in North America, I would say. And so the relationship of those two things, like we played some big festivals, and now in Europe, compared to what they used to be when I first started playing festivals, they've grown into giant things where there's 5 stages and 300 bands over a 4-day weekend and 6 beer sponsors and Red Bull and Monster, and oh my God, you know what I mean? So yeah. For the reason that them showing how strong the metal is and how big the family has grown into, that's fantastic. But as far as like an awful lot of bands to try to take in one weekend and things like that, and having to pick and choose, like if one of your bands over here is playing at the same time with one of your favorites over here, that's kind of a tough thing to do. But I appreciate that there's that much demand for our music and that much opportunity for these bands to play. That's pretty cool.
You released an album called Heavy Metal Music recently. How did fans react to the new stuff?
Well, it's been out for 3 days now, Heavy Metal Music, for the LP, and it's pretty much through the roof. #1 on Amazon, #1 on iTunes, you know. Everybody's digging it, so you know, obviously doing the right thing somewhere. I think that people dig authenticity no matter what it is that they're doing. They're reading a book or buying a bike or whatever the heck it is, man. The real deal is what people dig, and that's what we are. You know, nothing replaces experience. There's things that our band can do because of experience that other younger bands just wouldn't be able to do yet. So as far as reaction from people that have not heard the songs yet, it's asking a crowd in a festival atmosphere especially to listen to songs for the first time and giving love back, you know, that kind of thing. It makes me feel like I'm doing something right. So fortunately I am launching off some pretty strong ground and pretty good pedigree, and people to give me the benefit of the doubt, but it really has been positive. Very, very little bad vibes so far.
And how did the composition of that record go?
I composed most of the stuff on an iPad on the GarageBand application. Actually, it was August 11th last year, so 1 year tomorrow, that I handed the demos to Jesus Mendes Jr., the drummer, and Jesse Farnsworth, the guitar player. As a power trio, we made that metal EP. Okay. So I gave those guys the skeletons of those songs 1 year ago tomorrow. So I've been nose to the stone, like freaking really, really working hard and pushing for 1 year solid. That's how it is. I compose the skeletons from the beginning, program the drums, write a first and second chair guitar part, put on the bass, a vocal and a background vocal, rough, and then give them that. They come back with their brains and their hearts and their prowess and make the songs. So the 3 of us made the metal EP, and then once Mike Mushak joined, the 4 of us made the Heavy Metal Music LP.
Where did you get that great idea for the album name?
Actually, it came from the very beginning when there was going to be 3 EPs. I was going to do 1 EP heavy, 1 EP metal, 1 EP music, and then at the end of Culminator was going to be called Heavy Metal Music. And like Nocturnus and Godsnake, and those were going to be on the heavy one. And then Soldier Head, Long Time Dead, and the Fast were going to be on the metal one. And then Above All, and the ones that are a little bit more musical, you know, like maybe mainstream-ish, those were going to be the music one. They put them all together. So his original idea in November last year, when I didn't know shit from shit about the internet or any kind of social media or what happened. The whole deal with this thing at the very beginning, okay, there was no grand plan to have a band, to go on tour, and it was never that. We went to make this demo with these, you know, with these songs. Somebody heard Soldier Head, they played it on the radio, and the thing blew up. All right, but the whole deal was that I was just making this demo with my boys to try to kind of share together. I had read about Clutch and Down doing EPs on the iTunes, where you wouldn't have to manufacture the physical disc and all go through all of that hubbub and all that investment.
Yeah.
You just see, kind of test the waters and see if anybody gives a shit about your music anymore or whatever. That's what I wanted to do. One heavy, one metal, one music, and I was going to test the waters. I put out Metal EP. It went through the roof. Within 3 weeks, we had new agency, new management, new record company, blah, 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 all like that. So they came in and advised me, if we're going to take one big swing at this, let's not do the other 2 EPs. Let's do a full LP. We'll put all our money behind it and all our clout behind it and push our album. And so that's what developed, but I still made it Heavy Metal Music because that was the initial idea. That's where that comes from in its purity, its innocence like that.
Okay.
But also the reinforcement of, I was always taught in Metallica to have a worldwide view, a global view. I was in that 23 to 38 years old, or all formative year, like learning about what's happening, becoming worldly and all that stuff. Metallica was bigger across the seas before it was ever big in North America. We all know that, right? So you have to have that. Metallica was worldwide before there was World Wide Web or anything. I was taught you're playing music not just for California or for the United States, you're playing it for the world. No matter what language you speak, heavy metal music is heavy metal music across the globe.
Did you have any particular inspirations musically for that record? Do you have any?
The old teachers always rear their heads first. They keep them closest. Motorhead, Rush, Black Sabbath, Judas Priest, those kind of things. You keep them close as your teachers, the ones that you're going to spend hours learning the record and learning their songs, learning songs like that. And then newer bands, try to keep your mind open and your ears open for bands that are still flying the flag true. You know, Mastodon, Gojira, these kind of bands that are still kind of in the next generation that we influence, like our Spawn, you know, that influence us back again. So,
all right,
does that make sense?
Yeah, sure. It's great. You musically, as a vocalist and a bass player, do you have any particular influences?
Other than the ones I've named, the obvious ones like Motorhead and stuff like that, if there was, I mean, it wouldn't be me. He made it okay to play bass with a pick and through a distorted amplifier, and everything made it okay for me. And those influences show their heads very plainly on the record. I think, you know, there's Priest, there's Sabbath, there's Metallica, and there's Voivod and stuff like that. It just kind of shows I'm not afraid to wear them on my sleeves like that. But I do like to take in influences of people that I hung around with too. I got a chance to hang around with the Sepultura guys, Devin Townsend, and those kind of cats. I take them as influence as well.
You've been doing music for a long time, and you've been in quite a few big bands, especially Quebec's Voivod. How did your time with Voivod impact your music?
Voivod was the most special time that I've spent, the most great of a learning experience. Because they were my heroes first. Like I say with Metallica, I have heroes and I get to join their band. Ozzy heroes, I get to join their band. Voivod heroes, I get to join their band. So that in the beginning, I'm already looking like this. I'm already looking up at these people, you know. So eventually I get it where it's eye level eye, and that took a little while. But as far as the influence, they influenced me greatly as being honest and being authentic and being genuine. They're the real deal. You know what I mean? They are the real deal. And the vocal thing, I think Snake is probably my biggest influence as far as trying to weave the words in between songs, you know, and not necessarily having the vocal soaring up over the band like something here. It's just another instrument weaving in the band. And English being his second language, he doesn't waste any words. There's no fodder, so it's always right to the point and stuff. So he's my greatest influence as a vocalist, actually. And as brothers, they're top of the list for me.
You still keep contact with them?
Absolutely, I would just jammed in France. We played together in Hellfest.
Okay.
I played Voivod, the song Voivod. Both Blackie and I on stage at the same time, both bass players.
Yeah.
So we'll always be brothers, and there's we've maintained the closeness over the years. I feel that I kind of helped save them a little bit, and I think that they feel that too.
You think an eventual Voivod Newsted tour could happen?
Oh, I hope so. That'd be great. Yeah, heck yeah, Newsted, Voivod, Metallica.
That'd be kind of a big reunion tour for you.
It would be, yeah. I'd be busy, wouldn't I? Yeah.
Okay, well, my last question is about, you've been here before quite a few times, and probably the time that people remember the most is the riot at the Olympic Stadium.
Yeah.
Do you keep any particular memories from that time, from that event particularly, or you white it out?
Well, I ask a question about your best moments and your worst moments in your life and your musical career and stuff. And I have two really bad moments. One of them is Piggy passing, and the other one is James getting burnt in Montreal. Those are my two worst, scariest moments for me as a career musician. I remember the show going great, just like it always does in Montreal. Freaking awesome exchange with the people. We get halfway through the set, something goes terribly wrong, and that's that. So what I have memory of is being really, really scared for James and hoping he's okay. But also, on the other side of that, the longest show I've ever played in my career was with Ozzy. I played 3 hours and 1 minute in Montreal on the Ozfest. That's the longest I've ever played. The longest Ozzy's ever played, the longest Zach's ever played. It's the longest show any of us ever had. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, well, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Cheers, appreciate it, man. Keep it alive, people.
Out of focus and afraid, make up the reasons for the words that were said. From scraps and dreams that chop the screams, that chop the screams, that chop the screams.